For those of you that are looking for an awesome recipe for pork chops, we have a complete dinner, pork chops and apples. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Rhonda Fitterer.
And I'm Laverne Needham.
And we got this recipe that's basically a complete dinner in a skillet.
It is.
And we're going to have pork chops, and there's mushrooms and apples. It's going to be wonderful.
With the rice and everything, you know, it is.
It's a complete meal.
All in one skillet, and that's, how easy is that?
Easy enough for me to even try.
You would try that. Good. Okay.
And then coming up later on the show, we have a 1 ingredient topping. We're going to just leave that as a cliffhanger because you're going to stay tuned for that. So grab a piece of paper and a pen, write down the ingredients for this roast pork and apple recipe, and come along and cook with us. What you're going to need for this is pork chops. It says 4 pork chops, about 3/4 inch thick. We did cut some pork chops just a little bit thinner. So, you know, however you like to prepare your pork chops. You need an onion, some fresh mushrooms, some balsamic vinaigrette dressing, minute rice, chicken broth, apples, and dried thyme. So let's see what we can make out of this.
Let's go for it.
All right.
Okay, well, we're going to start over here with our skillet, and we're going to put our pork chops in, and we're going to cook the pork chops probably about 3 minutes on each side.
Okay.
You know, it says 4 minutes on each side with the 3/4 inch thick, but I didn't, like I said, we prefer not to have that thick. And so if I had these here 4 pork chops, I mean, it's going to look like more because I did cut the 3 larger ones in half.
Okay.
And so we're going to just put that on there. And we don't even have to season the pork chops because we have all the other ingredients in there that just blends all the flavors in there. So
okay,
you don't need an extra seasoning. So we're going to, like I said, just do this like 3 minutes on each side, and then we'll turn it or whatever. And I did chop, you know, there's 2 cups of mushrooms, a large onion, and then we're going to put those 3 ingredients in there, the balsamic vinaigrette, and then we just let that saute for just maybe about another few minutes. And then we're going to add the rice, the apples, and the chicken broth, and
perfect.
You know, it's just going to be
it's a nice refreshing change from just plain pork chops and rice. Not that that's not an excellent meal.
Right.
But this will be a little bit different twist with the apples. Got some crisp in there.
Right,
Sweet.
you know. And it says 2 apples and chopped, so that's what I did. And it says red apples, and I think you could use any apple that you really have. It's not going to make that much difference.
Okay.
But I would use, you know, one of the ones that are crisper, like your Jonathan's, or I know these are the Honeycrisp ones, and you know, any of those and I can't even think of all the apples that are out there. It's just too many.
Probably just not like Granny Smith, that it's more sour.
Yeah.
Probably a Gala or something like that.
Gala would work well for that too. So this won't take very long, and then we'll just flip that over. And being it is pretty thin, it's not going to take very long. And then after we have all the ingredients in there, it's going to, you know, we're going to put the lid on there for about 15 minutes or so.
Okay.
You know, 15 to 20 minutes, whatever, you know, would be there. So we'll just let this cook for about 3 minutes, and then we will be back.
Sounds good.
Okay, now it looks like the pork chops are, you know, cooked pretty much. So we're just going to, add our onion.
Okay.
I chopped a large onion.
So you're going to want to start with a skillet big enough to handle all of this.
Yes, definitely. Okay, and then I cut up 2 cups of fresh mushrooms. And then we're just going to get that sauteed in here for about 3 minutes.
Okay.
And we're going to add our balsamic vinaigrette dressing.
Okay.
And there's definitely differences in the balsamic vinegars compared to some of the others. So this was kind of a new dressing for me too. I didn't, I had never tried it before, but it has a good flavor. So we're going to add 2 tablespoons of this dressing.
Okay.
Okay. You can just smell that different aroma.
It is. Well, and I just know that this is going to be an awesome meal because of the different ingredients that we're making with it today.
You know, and that's the fun about cooking or just creating your own things, just adding things, you know. Unless you're doing like cakes or certain things, like you have to follow the recipe. Most other things you don't have to, and you can always add to something of your choice or just whatever, and it makes a big difference, you know. You can surprise yourself what you can come up with.
I guess I wouldn't go quite that far with myself, but I'll eat anything you make, Mom.
Oh, okay.
Maybe except liver. I might draw the line there. Yeah.
You might draw your, well, you know what? Your mom won't cook liver anyway.
We're on.
That's why you've never had it. I know there is some people that, you know, oh, liver and onions and like that, but that just has been
I think you attempted to make it once.
I did.
Just once.
And
We didn't like it.
to me it was you have to fry the liver so hard you don't know it's liver. It's just like leather. But the leather tasted better anyway than the liver, I thought. Okay, so that's about done there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to add a can of chicken broth.
Okay.
And then because we're adding 1.5 cups minute rice, it says to add a can of water.
Okay.
You know, too. So we'll get that here, and I'm gonna get that. Okay. And before I add the rice, I'm going to add my teaspoon of thyme in there so that it blends more with the water.
Sure.
Before there. Okay. And so get that simmering there. And I've got a pretty big skillet here, but it's going to take all of that to, you know, for all the ingredients here.
Absolutely. Once you put the rice and then we have the apples in there, but it's going to be a wonderful meal.
And again, because of the minute rice, it just doesn't, you know, it doesn't take a long time. And, you know, you can put this together in about 30 minutes from prep to actually on the table.
Sure.
And that, so then we're going to add our apples. And I think that's what's going to just give that little extra touch to this, you know, dish, is the apples.
What's going to make it look so good, and I know it's going to taste fabulous as well.
It will. Okay, so then just get this mixed up a little bit more, and then we're going to put the lid on it and just put it on low and let it simmer. It says 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
Because, you know, the rice won't take very long anymore, and, you know, we've already, you know, browned the pork chops for several minutes, so, and pork chops don't take very long either. So, okay, there we go.
Okay.
Looks interesting, doesn't it? So
It's
we're gonna
awesome.
put the lid on that, and I'm going to turn that knob to let the steam out. Let's see, do I have it on the right area? I can't feel the steam yet. Can we see it? We'll find out here shortly. Okay.
It didn't come with an owner's manual, did it?
Well, it did come with directions, but you only read that to last resort. Okay, and you were talking about this one ingredient dessert.
Yes.
I got this recipe from a good friend, a camping friend in St. Peter, Minnesota.
Okay.
She says, do you like caramel and apples or whatever? And she had some in the fridge and she brought it out and it was the creamiest caramel. It was so good. And one ingredient. What you do, and I got a can already made, so we're going to show it. What you do is you take a can of Eagle brand milk or any condensed milk.
Okay.
And of course you're going to want to take off the label because when you put it in the crock pot, you put it in the crock pot, you have enough water in there to, immerse the whole can.
Okay, so you covered it.
I had it completely covered and then you put it on low for 8 hours. And this is all you need to make.
So a can of milk and water and a slow cooker.
That's
Well,
right.
actually, it's 3 things, but you actually are only going to eat one thing.
That's right. Now, just look at this already. You can see that
It
caramel.
just caramelizes beautifully.
It does. So we're going to just take that out. And one thing that was so nice, even in the fridge, when she took it out, it stayed so creamy. And that's what I liked. Because, if you use your caramels for, your craft caramels that you would unwrap or whatever, they would get hard if they were in the fridge.
Right.
So, and as you can see, one can really makes quite a bit. And can you imagine this on, like I said, for caramel apples, or I'm going to just stir that up a little bit, or topping on ice cream.
Well, it's kind of a limited. I mean, whatever you use
What
your
you like
caramel for
with,
now.
Yes. And
A fruit dip. In desserts. I could see this, making like a German chocolate cake and poking holes and putting this in when you.
Oh, wouldn't that be good? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be really good. I hear my kettle here, or skillet, really sizzling, bubbling a little bit. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit more on that. Oh, I can smell those apples. That's got a good flavor. But once you have your skillet heated and it's covered, you don't need your stove very high. You want to turn it down.
Okay.
But anyway, this is the one-step thing for.
And so when we have it in the fridge, you're going to take it out of the fridge. It's obviously going to be chilled, but you're going to have the same consistency as this right here.
Probably a little firmer, but it's going to be. It still stays soft.
So you can use it immediately.
Immediately. Took it, had some sliced apples, and we just dipped right in that, and that was just as smooth and everything that you can imagine. So now we have to clean out this can. We cannot leave any of this caramel in here to go to waste.
I see that you also have some new spatulas, a little bit nicer size, that getting in those smaller cans.
Yes.
They make everything for you at those kitchen stores.
I tell you, and that's it. You want a smaller spatula because your larger ones, when you try to stick it in a can, you will chip or cut the edges of those silicone spatulas because your edges are sharp. Mm-hmm. So you don't want one larger than you need.
Right.
So we're going to do that, and then we're going to just cut an apple here, and then we're going to feature it over some ice cream, and as soon as our skillet there is ready, so I thought this kind of went together. We have apples in our skillet, and we're going to have apples, for dessert.
All right, let's just start pulling these out. We have to cut the core off this one a little bit.
A little bit there. Okay. The thing is that, this is really good caramel. I probably now like a caramel apple. If you have this in the fridge and you're using it, you probably want to eat it right away because it is softer. It probably come off the apple. It's
Right.
not something that it's going to stay, you know, on an apple really good because it does have a softer, creamier texture than.
Well, you wouldn't
the
need
others.
to have it on the outside because you're
Yeah,
taking these and all you
yes.
have to, you know, get your own little dish so you can
Right.
double dip all you want.
And the thing is, when you do it like this, I think you get more caramel than just right outside of the apple. Okay, let's just come over here. It seems to be up in a little bit here. Doesn't that look interesting?
It looks awesome.
And I really enjoy cooked apples. I like cooked apples, so that's going to be there. I think I found the vent on that. So, all right. So we're just going to wait a little bit till our skillet is ready, and then we'll come back and we'll feature some of this, and we'll.
Oh, it's
Enjoy.
going to be so good.
Yeah. it
So
will.
good. Stay tuned.
Okay, I think our pork chop rice skillet is all, looks like it's ready to go.
Looks done to me.
Let's turn
Good
that
enough to
burner
eat.
off. Yes, I would hope so. Okay, we'll put that on there and just get one of those out there. Don't the apples look good? And then,
Oh, and it
they're
smells
just-
wonderful.
So that's the pork chops, and you got a nice pork chop there, and some rice, whatever. So, and then of course we're going to have our caramel, and I've got some apples, and we already, got some ice cream here, and going to put some of that caramel on top of the ice cream.
Perfect.
Oh, and then you could even top it off with some nuts. Look at that. I know that there was a question, even in fact, when I was going to make this and telling Ron about it and putting that in the crock pot, he says, well, isn't that going to explode when you put it in there? But it doesn't. You have it on low, and like I said, you have it completely immersed, and it doesn't. And now this lid here would be one that's easier to come off than if it was the sealed one we used to need a can opener.
Right.
So, as we can see, that didn't happen. So that is going to work just great. Like I said, 8 hours on low and just have it completely covered, and put it in at night, or you put it in the morning. You come home and you're going to have this great caramel for supper.
Well, and if you take it in right after supper, it's going to be nice and warm and
Oh, it is.
Perfect.
It will. It really
absolutely
will.
perfect.
So,
Well, the simplest dessert idea that you can ever have right there. You just need 8 hours and a crock pot.
in a crock pot. or put it in before you go to bed and you wake up in the morning. And I bet you could find something to use that. Well,
Caramel
apples.
French toast.
Caramel French. Oh, yes.
It's limitless.
That's right.
To get these recipes, just go to Consolidated's website, www.ctctel.com. Please submit your recipes for us to cook for you as well. Thank you so much for joining us, and as always, thank you to the Workshop for being our sponsor. Have a great day.